A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a dramatic turn of events, Donald Trump has once again clinched the presidency, sending ripples through both the financial markets and societal norms. The FTSE 100 index, which primarily consists of large international companies, is poised to feel the effects of Trump's victory, particularly as U.S. stocks have experienced a remarkable surge. The S&P 500 index reached a historic milestone, crossing the 6,000 points mark for the first time in a market rally fueled by Trump's win. Year-to-date, the S&P 500 has soared nearly 26%, showcasing investor optimism that Trump's policies could usher in a new era of growth. As the Republican Party appears to be on the verge of taking full control of Congress, with a majority secured in the Senate and a handful of seats needed in the House of Representatives, expectations are high that Trump will advance his agenda focused on lower taxes, deregulation, and tariffs upon his return to office in January. While the FTSE 100 also saw an uptick following the election results, the enthusiasm among UK investors was not as pronounced as in the US markets, with the UK's blue-chip index up only 4% year-to-date. Richard Hunter, head of markets at Interactive Investor, remarked that despite favorable factors for the FTSE 100, the initial reaction post-election has been largely negative. He pointed out that around 70% of earnings in the FTSE 100 come from overseas, with a significant portion originating from the US, which should ideally benefit from a burgeoning US economy. However, the strengthening of the dollar has led to a weakening of the pound, which Hunter noted should have provided a boost for the FTSE 100, as repatriated earnings would become more valuable. The pound plummeted against the dollar following Trump's victory, trading as low as 1.2803 on Tuesday afternoon. Nevertheless, reports suggesting that the UK may dodge the brunt of potential trade tariffs from Trump have contributed to a stronger start for UK markets this week, though it remains uncertain whether this momentum will continue. Individual stocks within the FTSE 100 are expected to be significantly impacted by Trump's election. Susanna Streeter, head of money and markets at Hargreaves Lansdown, indicated that Trump's win is generally viewed as a positive development for traditional infrastructure sectors. Ashtead, a leading equipment rental company, is anticipated to benefit from the new administration, having already seen its shares rally post-election. Despite a modest revenue growth of 2% in its fiscal first quarter results, Ashtead remains optimistic for the full year. With Trump's policies likely to drive inflation higher, the U.S. Federal Reserve's interest rate decisions will be closely monitored, as elevated rates could serve as a tailwind for banks like Barclays, which stands to gain from increased loan income. Conversely, the potential for higher borrowing costs could negatively impact U.S. economic growth and elevate default rates. Trump's focus on deregulation and tax cuts could also stimulate capital markets, presenting further opportunities for banks. The hospitality sector is expected to benefit as well, with IHG stock rising following the election. With a substantial number of hotels in the U.S., IHG could gain from increased consumer spending spurred by tax cuts. Conversely, companies like Shell and BP may face challenges, as Trump's pro-drilling stance might lead to increased oil and gas exploration in the U.S., potentially driving down prices and impacting their earnings. The drinks industry, particularly Diageo and Unilever, may also find themselves navigating turbulent waters due to potential tariffs on imports, which could shift consumer preferences away from imported brands. As the political landscape evolves, the implications of Trump's presidency will become clearer for major international companies. Meanwhile, the cultural ramifications of Trump's victory have also sparked concern. A surge in misogynistic social media posts has coincided with Trump's election, reflecting fears that his administration may embolden regressive attitudes towards women's rights. Trump's campaign rhetoric, which often framed women as needing protection, has raised alarms about a potential resurgence of patriarchal norms reminiscent of dystopian narratives. The Institute for Strategic Dialogue has reported a troubling increase in online discussions that echo these sentiments, suggesting that Trump's presidency could unleash a wave of misogyny that many had hoped was fading. As the nation braces for Trump's return to the White House, the dual impact on financial markets and societal values will be closely scrutinized, with stakeholders on both sides eager to understand how this new chapter will unfold. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.